Hey, what's up YouTube? Steampunk Yu-Gi-Oh here coming at you with a deck profile, IRL. And this video is in response to like Death Silent Enigma's video and WK Dad's video about the OCG and how they play versus the TCG and how we play. They were saying that the OCG plays to win and then we play not to lose. So by saying this, we're essentially saying that we want to stop our opponent instead of really like win, like take the win for ourselves. And whereas in OCG, they want to just grab that win. They want to win game one. They don't want to stop their opponent like in any way possible. Like, yeah, watch their videos. You'll probably understand. So anyway, I'd watch both of their videos. And I decided to try out that theory. I went to the Shriek. I got a deck list. I net decked it for locals. I only changed 2 cards in the main deck and a completely original sideboard, kind of. So, you know, and the extra deck is kind of like what I could throw together. And it was Chaos Dragons, and I actually ended up going undefeated with it. And throughout the whole tournament, I played with the OCG mindset of I'm going to win game one and I'm going to beat this guy, you know. So let's look at the list. I really like this build of Chaos Dragons. It's a lot better than I think TCG builds because OCG do know how to build decks, no matter what people say. So let's start off with the monsters. 2 Card Trooper. This is a part of the mill engine. And another part of the mill engine, we have 1 Lila. Just 1, and 2 Raikou, and that's all the monster mill I need for this deck. I don't need to overclog it with like 2 more Lilas or another Raikou. No, this fits it perfectly. It's just enough mill to get my stuff into the graveyard or whatever I really need into the graveyard. So play 2 troops, 1 Lila, and 2 Raikou for the mill power. And the dragons of the deck, I play 1 Darkness Metal. You pretty much have to run this card in the deck, you know. You know how Chaos Dragons are. And 3 Light Pulsar Dragons. Now these are the only Chaos Dragon cards like I run because it didn't play Dark Flare, and I thank God for that because I hate that card. I legit hate Dark Flare. And Eclipse Wyvern, and this deck doesn't play either of them. And I was like, yes, this deck doesn't play any of those garbage cards, because it doesn't need them. It doesn't need them to be good. So I play 3 Light Pulsar, 1 Red MD for, you know, Exhibital Shenanigans or whatever I need. I hate Dark Flare. God, it's such a bad card. And it's not bad, but. And as for the boss monsters, aside from Red MD, I have 1 BLS. 1 Chaos Sork, and 1 Dark Arm Dragon. I actually dropped Dark Armed a lot more often than I thought I would. And I know you guys are probably thinking, oh, well, how do you get into your Dark Arm plays with like that little mill count and stuff like that? Like, the mill, it's not so minuscule that it doesn't help. It's like just in the middle where it helps, and you know you benefit from just that mill. You don't need anything else. So those are my boss monsters: Chaos Sork, BLS, and Dark Arm. Hand traps. Play 1, 2, 3 Veilers because you need to stop them effects. It's a light monster that you can easily pitch to the graveyard for like BLS, Light Pulsar, Chaos Sork plays, and it's a tuner so you can synchro for like whatever you really need. And it mained 2 Maxis. I really like 2 Maxis in main for this deck because you can mill 1 off or like, you know, whatever. So I really like 2 main decked. And then the last hand trap I play was 2 DD Crow. I really like this guy because he's an easy dark that you can just pitch off and like banish a wind-up shark or, you know, a Graffa or whatever, like if the wind-up shark is getting like targeted by red or whatever, you can go all DD Crow. This card is so good in Chaos Dragons. I don't know why the TCG like refuses to put it in main deck. Put it in over Dark Flare. Please do it. So 3 Veilers, 2 Maxi, 2 Crow. And for the pseudo hand traps, play Gores and 2 Trag. They're darks, they're easy to like throw out, you know, you can be like Trag and he'll sit there for a while because he'll be big, because he won't really be doing anything else, and then you'll be able to get more plays off. And then Gores is like, hey, he has nothing, I'm gonna attack him, and then I'm like, Gores. Yeah. So, and they're also darks, which feels like Dark Arm to BOS and Light Pulsar and Chaos Hog plays. So 2 Trag, 1 Gores. Play the 2 Tour Guides, the Sangan, and the Night Assailant, the Tour Guide family. Like I said, I essentially net decked this except for 2 cards main deck. So this is what was being run in that deck. And yeah, so I actually really liked this setup. Night Assailant works good with Tour Guide, and Sangan of course works good with Tour Guide, and Tour Guide works good with Tour Guide. So like, I'll never have a dead Tour Guide. So 2 Tour Guides, Sangan, and Night Assailant. Now for the floaters of the deck. I played 2 Reaper. Originally this build that I looked at online was playing 1 Tomato, but I was like, I don't really like Tomato, I'll drop it for another Reaper. And I was really happy that I did, because Reaper saved me so many times, both of them. 2 Reaper. 1 Thunder King. Like, it was only playing 1 Thunder King, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll see what it does at 1 in the main deck, and it was okay. I really wouldn't think about putting in 2, because, you know, that's exactly what the TCG would do, is put in like 2 T-Kings just to do things, 2 or 3 probably. I do side 1, because that's what the recipe called for, and I liked it. I was like, I'll side T-King, I'll see what happens with it. So I put 1 T-King, and then 1 Debris Dragon for that Black Rose, Scrap Dragon, Orient Dragon, Iron Chain, or Trident Dragon play. You know, if you ever have it. Debris Dragon is really good in this deck, especially considering it can get back Card Trooper, Night Assailant, you know, I guess DD Crow or Veiler or Maxi, whatever you need to synchro with. So 1 Debris Dragon. That was also in the deck. I didn't change that, so it was playing 1 Debris. So I was like, okay, I'll see what Debris does. And that's it for monsters, so let's move on to spells. First off, I have Charge. You know, search out the Lightsworn, mill top 3, good mill into a future mill, so 1 Charge. 1 Foolish for pitching whatever I need to the graveyard to like do shenanigans. I only really use this to pitch Red MD when I was about to banish for Light Pulsar just in case they torrentialed it. So yeah, 1 Foolish. 1 Allure, because this deck really needs draw power. This build doesn't play Solar Recharge, it just plays an Allure. And I was like, yes, no Solar Recharge, because I hate that card too. I hate Solar Recharge, I hate Eclipse Wyvern, and I hate Dark Flare. I hate all those cards, and I was so happy that this build didn't play any of those. Because Solar Recharge and Eclipse Wyvern end up just sitting in your hand doing nothing, so yeah. So 1 Allure, it gives the deck draw and, you know, good stuff. 1 Avarice. Many people in the TCG, actually I think everybody in the TCG doesn't play this in Chaos Dragons, but again, this is OCG Chaos Dragons, and I could not have picked a more perfect card for the deck than Pot of Avarice. If I mill off like cool things like BLS, Dark Arm, you know, I can just Avarice it back. I don't have to worry about it being gone forever or having to rely on a Dark Flare. It's my only boss monster or whatever, so 1 Avarice. And then staples, I play Reborn and Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm was originally Dark Hole in the deck on the OCG site, but I dropped it for heavy because I thought that back row would be more of a hindrance to Chaos Dragons than monsters would be, and I was absolutely right because like heavy worked out for me so many times. And then I got 3 MSTs. I need 2 more Ghost Golds if you guys have any. I have a blue rare and I have a gold for trade if you guys, you know, want to look at my binder video or whatever. So anyway, 3 MSTs for Hate and Dim back rows. And then the final trap card. Ah, that Treacherous. Because this card worked out really good for me. Like, the deck does play 1 Treacherous, just saying. And I was like, 1 Treacherous. I always liked Treacherous, but, like, I never, like, legit considered it for a tournament. And this time I did, and it worked out so well. So, 1 Treacherous. For sideboard, got 2 Cyber Dragons. For Gear Gia, you know, anything, Glads, anything that I need a real beater on. And, of course, that 1 T-King that I told you guys about. Play 2 Gem Imps. I don't really play Soul Drain. I don't know why. I like Gem Imps because it's like, it's a +1 and it's a Darkened Graveyard, so, well, it's not really a +1, but it's a Darkened Graveyard and it gets you a draw. So, and it makes their dealings or drag down fizzle. And you guys don't like drag down, so. 1 Maxi in sideboard. I just wanted to side a 3rd one because, like, you know, wind-ups and stuff. So, 3rd Maxi. 2 Night Beams for Mermaids and Atlanteans. Hit that Abyss Sphere. Hit that Abyss Sphere. And also for hating even more back rows than usual. So, for stun decks too. Like Gear Gia. So, 2 Night Beams. I did side the Dark Hole, but I never sided it in. Like, I didn't use this card all tournament. Yeah. Maybe I'll find a use for it later, I guess, in the career of this deck. Maybe. I side 3D Prisons because that's what the deck actually sided. I was like, wow. The deck sided a bunch of cool things like Transmog, Catastrophe, Deck Devies, and D Prisons, and I was like, I'll keep the D Prisons in. And also, it sided 2 Decrees as well. So I was like, why not? I'll keep the Decrees and the D Prisons and the 1 T-King for sideboard stuff. And I think it sided 2 Gem Imps too, so, you know, it's another reason why Gem Imps is there. And then finally, 1 Torrential. I threw this in because, you know, Torrential, it's a trap card. No one's going to expect trap cards like this in there in Chaos Dragon, so why not? Thought it'd be fun. And then, last but not least, extra deck. Got 1 Chimera Tech for those Cyber Dragons and Gear Gia players, you know, fuck them. The Synchro Monsters, Scrappy, Black Rose, Iron Chain, Orient, all Debris Dragon plays or Effect Veiler plays or whatever he plays, you know. And then Armory Arm for the Effect Veiler play. And for going Armory Arm BLS and just winning. I play 1 Gaia Dragon because of Exabeetle. Because Gaia Dragon's just broke. I play 1 Exabeetle. I didn't have a Strike Bouncer for this tournament, so I was like, this might not go so well, but, you know, Exabeetle worked. And I didn't really go for him that often, so I was like, well, whatever. 1 Acid Golem. The rank 3s, you know, Leviathan, got a Levy or 2. The deck played Mazer 7 in OCG, but since we don't have it in TCG, I had to take it out, and I put in a Tempo in its place. And then Zen Mains. And then last but not least, my Gore's tokens. Gilbert Gottfried Gore's token, and Adam West Gore's token. So baller. Alright, so that was my Chaos Dragon deck profile. See you guys later.